Now, in our 5th section and our 6th section, we're going to do writing and reading. So in the 5th, the writing section, you can get a piece of paper and a pencil or a whiteboard that you can write on with a dry erase marker. And I'm going to say the sound, and then you're going to write it. So if I said, "eh," you would write, "eh." And if I said, "ah," you would write, "ah." So you can pause the video and get your paper and pencil so you can write. So I'm going to say the sound, and you're going to write the sound, and then I'll write it, and you correct it and say, "Oh yeah, that's what I wrote." Okay, so you ready? We're going to do this section first, and then on the reading section, I'm going to show you some sounds, words, and sentences, and you're going to read them, and then I'll read them out loud, and you can check if you were right. Okay, ready? We'll get started. So write the sound, "eh." What would you write for "eh"? Did you write? Very good. How about "ah"? We're going to do our vowels first. Did you write the letter E? "Ah." How about "I"? "I". Very good. And how about "ah"? What would you write for "ah"? Very good. And how about "ah"? Which vowel will make the "ah" sound? Did you write this? Very good. You are right. Now let's try some blends. How about "pr"? "Pr". 2 sounds. "Pr". "Pr". Very good. Now how about "tr"? Very good. And next is "gr". 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 How about "br"? Can you write the "br" sound? Very good. "Cr". "Cr". "Fr". 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 And "dr". There's our "dr" sound. How about "pl"? "Pl". Very good. How about "cl"? "Cl". "Bl". "Bl". Now "fl". Very good. "Sl". "Gl". "St". "Sp". "Sk". And another way to write "sk". So if you wrote either of these for "sk," you were right. They both make the "sk" sound. So how about "sw"? And "sm." "Sm". "Sn." There's "sn." And "twa." "Twa." And how about "dwa"? There's our "dwa." Very good. Now we have some word families we're going to write. You ready? You're going to write it first, and then I'll write it, and you correct it. Here we go. Your first one. Oh, sorry. At. That was your first one. At. Okay, now here you write this one. Am. Am. Did you write am? App. App. Ill. Ill. It's kind of like a spelling test, right? Your teacher says the word, you write it. So we're practicing. Okay, the next one, it. Did you write it? It. M. M. Ip. 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 At. 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 On. 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 And let's see, up. 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 Ack. Ack. Now there's two ways to write this one. With the CK, ack, or ack. Or I guess we could say ack, because we have three ways of writing the k sound. Ack, ack, ack. Any of these three ways would be right. Okay, how about ab? Ab. You hear that b? Ab. How about ab? Ab. Ink. This one's a little trickier. Ink. That NK is a little trickier sound. Ink. Ink. How about an? An. Very good. In. 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 And ick. Ick. So you got that k sound. So here's how I would write it. It's a word family, ick. But you could also write or ick. How about ack? That's the same thing. We have that k. I'm going to write it as a word family, ack. Ack. Because remember we talked about at the end of the word as a word family, k would be the CK at the end, ack. And then we can make a lot of words with ack, like back, rack, track. Okay, let's try. But if you did ack or ack, those are right too. Okay, let's try at. At. App. 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 L. Remember the fizzle rule for this one. L. L. Now, if you wrote L, that's okay too. But when we think about the fizzle rule, we want to double those L's after a short vowel. So we have L, L. And our last one for this, ing. Ing. It's like that word family. Ing. That's a little tricky. Ing. Remember for the ing word family, we would have ring, sing, fling. So that's our ing sound. Okay, very good. Now we're going to do some of the words that we made in our previous section and some of our sight words that we're practicing for Block 7. So you ready? Now I'll say them, you write them. Our first word is grill. Grill. So you have a blend and a word family. Now, did you write grill? Very good. How about brink? Brink. So we have a br and an ink. Brink. How about trick? Trick. So we have our ick. How about slap? Slap. 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 How about slit? Slit. So we have our it. Very good, good writing. How about swim? Swim. We have our swim. Swim. How about trip? Trip. We have our trip. Next word, trot. Trot. So we have our trot. How about slim? Slim. Slim. And how about clot? Clot. We have a clot. Now, if you weren't sure about the cl, you might have wrote cl sound this way, clot. But if we were doing the real word, we would spell it this way, clot. But they both sound out the same, clot. Okay, how about stop? Our next word, stop. We have stop. How about clock? Clock. Clock. How about glob? Our next word, glob. Glob. Slab. We have slab. Stink. So that ending's a little tricky. Ink. Here's our ink word family. Stink. How about swam? Swam. Swam. Our next word, stan. I'm going to do a capital S because that's a person's name, and we always capitalize that first letter in a person's name. Stan. Next word, spin. So I have my in. Next word, black. Sled. I have sled. Fret. Clap. Now, if we had clap, Hear the difference? Clap. Cl. Yeah. See how important that vowel sound is? Ep, app, clap, or clap. Makes a big difference. All right, now we have spell. Spell. L. Spell. Sling. Sling. We have our sl. Ing. Crest. Crest. We need our est. Crest. Snag. Snag. Sn. Ag. Snag. Drum. 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 Smug. 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 And spud. 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 Truck. Truck. So we have truck. Truck. Very good. Good reading or writing. And now we have some sentences to do. So I'm going to say the sentence and then I'm going to start writing it. So see how you do. You can be writing it at home. You ready? The clock is stuck on 6. The clock is stuck on 6. Let's start writing that. I'm going to do a capital letter for the beginning of my sentence will be a capital. So I have the clock is stuck on 6. The clock is stuck on 6. Okay, next sentence. I have a trick for him to see. I have a trick for him to see. Let's start writing it. I have is tricky because we have that silent E, so you memorize this. Have, but then we have that E at the end, have. I have a trick, for him to see. I have a trick for him to see. Did you get that? Good job. Let's try one more. Stan will swim on his trip. Stan will swim on his trip. Let's start writing it. Stan will swim on his trip. Very good. Let's read our sentences. The clock is stuck on 6. I have a trick for him to see. Do you notice I said A for that? You could say A or A. I have a trick for him to see. And our last one, Stan will swim on his trip. Very good. Good writing. And now our last section in block 7 will be reading. And for reading, you could read anything you wrote in block 7. So you could go over, read any of your sentences, any of your sight words. We have a little mini book and flip books that we make. And you can get this in the big book, Reading Blocks, a step-by-step method to teach reading. And it has all these different games and activities for reading in it. So now next, I think we'll read our mini book. All right, you ready for our story? Let's read it together. Scott can swim. Scott has a problem. Problem. Scott has a problem. He will go on a trip. Scott has a problem. He will go on a trip and he cannot swim. Scott has a problem. He will go on a trip and he cannot swim. Stan will help him to swim. Very good. Good reading. That's our mini story. And now after each story, we make a few words. And our word families are at, im. And let's make a few words now. So we'll take our tr. And we have at, trot. But what if we move it over here? Now what do we have? Im, trim. Very good. Now let's try our sl. What do we have here? At, slot. And now we have im, slim. Very good. Now let's take our sl and do our sw. And we have at, swat. Now let's move it. Oops, we don't get all of it. Let's put it there. Now what do we have? im, swim. Very good. Good reading. Now let's take this, move it, and do our duh sound. Duh. And we have dot. Dot. Good job. Let's move it over here, and we have dim. Dim. Very good. Now let's move it out. Whoa. And we have one left. Move it over. And we have hot. Good job. And let's move it over here. And what do we have? Him. Very good. Good reading. And that is it for block 7. On to block 8.